Hello everybody and welcome back to FX Street. My name is Akash and today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin and we just finished discussing Bitcoin. So we're going to be discussing Ethereum and see what's happening with it, right? And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Unlike Bitcoin, when I went on a multi-time frame analysis, I don't want to do the same for Ethereum because the lower time frames are pretty interesting and I'm already, it's looking pretty good in my opinion to take small trades, day trades. But before I explain what's happening here on the 4-hour time frame for Ethereum, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FX Street. Make sure to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you don't miss out on any updates that we put out. You can give us a follow on Twitter at FXSCrypto, and if you enjoyed the content that I put out, make sure to give me a follow as well at Mangyako with a 0 at the end. Right? Back to the topic at hand, Ethereum. Right. After the CPI announcement, actually before the CPI announcement, I was looking at a lot of altcoins. They were kind of, weren't showing any good directional bias. And I could see a lot of altcoins were producing lower lows, but the momentum indicators were producing higher lows, which basically meant that there was a divergence kind of favoring the bulls. So I was waiting patiently. I basically entered a long position for Ethereum. After the CPI, things kind of cooled down. I saw this happening. Let me see if I have the position here for Ethereum. Yep, so this is basically where I entered the position. Was it after the CPI? CPI announcement at 9. Yep, exactly that candle. I entered my position around 1506. And so far, things are honestly looking pretty good. It's up 3%. And I'm expecting it to go at least up to the monthly resistance at 1677, but just for the sake of greed, I'm expecting it to go all the way up to 1820, which was an FVG formed, I think, on a 4-hour time frame. So this is where I'm expecting Ethereum to go. This is basically my position, right? It's pretty simple. I've opened this position because of the divergences that I've seen, and on top of that, just to make sense. The dip that we saw here before CPI basically collected liquidity resting below all these lows. Not only that, it kind of filled the FEG that was present here. As you can see, this was the FEG, and we tagged the lower limit of the FEG pretty accurately. Let me show it here. This is the FEG line. As you can see, we've tagged it, completely filled the imbalance, and that's when it reversed. Technically, this would have been a really good entry point, but I've gotten burned a lot of times because of at least I've gotten burned trading divergences before waiting for a confirmation. I basically waited to produce, I waited for the price to produce some sort of a higher high on the lower time frame here, and that was basically my entry point. Yeah, I don't know, something around this point. That's basically where I entered my long position, and yeah, I'm expecting this to continue, right? If you look at what happened with the CPI, right? Before CPI, everybody was expecting because of the seasonal adjustments and the change to the CPI basket, the weight changes. Everybody were expecting an unusual spike in inflation, kind of like what happened to the jobs report on Feb 3rd. So I was expecting something similar, but I wasn't trading any coins during the CPI because I didn't want, to get caught in the volatility, get caught in the whipsaw. So I basically waited, and once the volatility kind of died down is when I entered, right? So basically the CPI was underwhelming, and it kind of favors the Fed to remain dovish as they did in the last FOMC meeting. So there's going to be another 25 basis points rate hike in March. That's at least that's what the CPI made it clear, right? That the disinflation that Powell mentioned, Jerome Powell mentioned in the last meeting, is intact. So there's no need to be bearish. I was technically bearish before the CPI and expected Bitcoin price to continue going lower, but things kind of changed after the CPI. So I adjusted my narrative accordingly, and now I'm expecting Ethereum price to go up to 1677. That's basically the first target could be around 1579. The next target would definitely be a retest of the monthly resistance at 1677. Excuse me. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of liquidity resting above these swing highs formed between Feb 2nd and 7th Feb. So that is pretty much it, guys. On a lower time frame perspective, I'm expecting Ethereum price to at least go up to 1700. After that, we have a daily resistance as noted by the MRI indicator. On top of that, we have 1820 FVG. Beyond that, there's a couple of things, but I'm not paying a lot of attention to that particular side of things, right? So yeah, if you enjoyed this analysis of Ethereum, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed my take on Ethereum or whatever, just make sure to give me a follow on Twitter at Mangyako with the 0 at the end.